To start our Mixolydian mode project, I want to start with the bass. We know that the bass is going to be on the note G because in the key of C, G is the fifth note. C is 1, D is 2, E is 3, F is 4, G is 5. So we are at the fifth mode of the C major scale. It's the Mixolydian mode. We're going to use the same two chords, F and G, but we have a different bass note now. So instead of playing this in, I'm going to use the grid. So I've got a bass instrument selected, and I can see my, my grid down here, my piano roll down here. I'm going to make sure that my snap to grid magnet function thing up here is on. And then I'm going to come down and I'm going to click on the note G. Now you'll notice that it snaps right to the grid. There's another one, and another one, and another one. That was easy. Now I can come back here and change this anytime, but here's what it's going to sound like. That's just going to establish the sound of the mode. I'm going to get started with just the bass. Now it is a little high. It's above C2. So I am going to use the arrow tool, select the notes that I already typed in, and I'm going to drag this down. You can even see that it says G1 right there. Now I'm going to loop that bass part by dragging the loop icon up at the top all the way out to the end of the 8th bar. I'm also going to turn the volume of this track down just a bit so I can focus more on the chords. Now here's a trick. When we play this F and G chord, we've always played it kind of like this, the full chord of F and then the full chord of G. I'll switch to instrument down here so you can see all those letters. I'm, just like last time, holding down the letter E, the letter T, and the letter U. So we have our F chord like that. And then I'm going to move the whole thing over one step to the right. But I'm not going to play the full chord in this instance. In this example, I'm just going to play the first two notes, keys E and T, which will give me the notes F and A. And with my other hand, I'm going to be playing a bit of a melody up here. So consistently, my left hand is going to be doing this. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. But my other hand is going to come in with this stuff. And I'll come up with a melody like that for the next 8 bars. Here we go. Next, I'm going to add a few drums to this. I'm going to go to the loops section over here, and I found some really good disco vintage drums that I'm going to drop right into my project on the bottom here. And that's going to round out my 8 bars. Now, I chose this because the kick drum follows the quarter notes that I put in the bass part. Sounds like this. I'm going to copy this entire section. So I'm just going to select all of the parts and drag them all out to the end of bar 16. Then I'm going to copy everything and I'm going to paste it right at bar 25. That's going to leave me a gap of 8 bars right in the middle where I can put something else. Before I add in my something else, I'm going to make these bass notes a little bit shorter. You may have noticed that when we play this back, it all kind of runs together. That really wasn't what I had intended. So I think I'm going to turn off the grid. And while all these notes are selected, I'm just going to grab one of them and I'm going to make it shorter. Notice that every one of these notes is shorter now, even the ones at the end of the project. Notice that? Pretty cool. Now we have some separation. Let's have a listen. There's a little space between each bass note. Makes it match with the kick drum a little better. Now for that middle 8. I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to go away from the Mixolydian mode and return to one of the previous modes. I'm going to go back to playing a C in the bass over our F and G chords. That's the major scale, the first one we did. But you could choose in your project to go back to a different mode for your middle 8. So on my typing keyboard, I'm going to be playing the note Z, or the note C on the key Z. All right, so here comes the rhythm. Great, so I've got that. Now I'm going to play the exact same rhythm with the warm pad. I'll put the play head right at 17, and this is my chord. Here we go. Hit a funny note in there, but that is no problem. I can get in there and edit that out. I'll just click on it and delete. There. Now for the drums to finish this up, I'm going to go back over here and into the vintage disco. I actually ended up liking this drums disco vintage 7. So I'm going to pop that in right here and let's have a listen to that. So it's clear I need to quantize, eighth notes, same thing up here, edit, quantize, eighth notes. Much better. So now your Mixolydian mode project has 2 distinct sections. You've got your first 8 that repeats, that has G in the bass and our 2 chords up top. The middle section has short chords and you've switched bass notes to a different mode and changed the drum beat. Then we repeated the last section. So that's a great start. The next video I have for you will have a little bit of a melody section up here and we'll explore some effects. Good luck.